Hi class, in this video we are going to discuss a new topic which is rational functions. In this video we are going to discuss three topics. First one, we are going to review what is polynomial functions. Then we are going to have a real life situations that are modeled by rational functions, and we are going to define rational functions. So let's start. So, what is polynomial function? Let's first review yung mga natutunan nyo dati nung kayo ay nasa grade 10. And I hope you can still recall. So, by definition daw, a polynomial function of P of degree n, yung highest degree niya is n, or yung kanyang exponent is n, is a function that can be written in this form. So, you have P of x is equal to a sub n, x raised to n, plus a sub n minus 1 x n raised to n minus 1 plus a sub n minus 2 x raised to n minus 2 plus a sub 1 x plus a sub 0. So, you have to consider daw dito wherein yung a sub 0 to a sub 1 up to a sub n mo are set of all real numbers. So, any values that are real numbers are accepted to be the values of your a sub 0, a sub 1 to a sub n. But you have to take note that yung a sub n mo should not be equal to 0. So, ito daw po yun. Ito yung actually, kung natatandaan nyo, this is what you call the leading term. So, dito sa leading term, makikita mo yung, of course, yung iyong leading coefficient and yung leading exponent mo. Highest exponent, rather. Then, another, sabi daw po, you have to also consider in a polynomial function is that your n, specifically yung exponent po dito, should be a positive integer. So, pag may nakita ka dyang negative, may nakita ka dyang square root, so most likely, it will violate the definition of your polynomial function. So, you can say that that is not a polynomial function. Kasi, sabi sa definition, your polynomial function should have a positive integer. Then, each term in this polynomial function, itong a sub 0, a sub 1 to a sub 2, then up to a sub n, is what you call the coefficient. Yan po yung mga constant or yung mga numbers, real numbers ng ating polynomial functions. Then, tinatawag din po natin, sabi dito sa definition, the leading coefficient is a sub n. The leading term, of course, is the a sub n x raised to n. Na kung saan, paano malalaman na siya yung leading term? Kapag po siya yung term na mayroong x na highest, naka-express yung kanyang exponent in the highest degree. Ayan. And then, bakit po kailangan ina-identify natin yung kanyang highest degree o yung leading term? Kasi it will tell you what kind of function yung iyong pinagdideal or nakikita or ine-examine. Kasi kapag ito ay x lang or the highest exponent is 1, you are just dealing with a linear function. So, kapag naging ito ay 2, so magiging quadratic and so on. As the degree increases, magiging tawag na lang sa atin sa kanyang function is polynomial function. Then, the constant term, yung pinakadulo po, yung a sub 0, wherein yung, meron naman yung x, however, yung x niyan is raised to 0 na. So, when x is raised to 0, any number raised to 0, it is equal to 1. So, hindi na natin kailangan isulat yon. Then, yung ating a sub 0 is the constant term in your polynomial function. Now, why do we need to recall what is the definition of polynomial function? Bakit po? Kasi it will be essential dun sa pinaka-definition ng ating rational function. So, bago ka masabi mo na this term is a rational function, you have to check muna if yung kanyang mga numerator and denominators are expressed in a polynomial functions. Is rational function po kasi. So, rational function daw po is defined as a rational function is a function of the form f of x is equal to p of x all over q of x. And Sabi dito, your P of X and Q of X are polynomial functions. So, lahat ng characteristic kanina ng polynomial functions should also be carried out dito until dito sa definition ng ayong rational function. Then, sabi din daw sa definition ng rational function that your Q of X is not the zero function. So, any number, any value, or any real number that would make your Q of X or yung nasa denominator part ng iyong rational function equal to 0 is not a solution or it is a false solution. It will make your function kasi undefined. So, you have to observe that. You have to check from time to time. Lalo na kapag po magsusolve ka na ng values or mag-evaluate ka na. Dapat, hindi pwedeng maging equal sa 0 yung iyong denominator. The domain of the function or the f of x is all values of x where q of x is not equal to 0. So, yun nga po, domain, when you say domain, this is the possible all set of x na pwede mong i-substitute or i-replace dun sa iyong function. So, any number will do, any real numbers, pwede mong i-substitute. However, bawal or hindi part ng iyong solution or ng iyong domain, yung iyong any values that would make your denominator equal to 0. Ma'am, 0 po ba pwede? Basta, ang idea, you have to evaluate. Tingnan mo, i-check mo from time to time kung there are instances kasi na kahit hindi talaga siya, hindi naman ibig sabihin pagka not equal to 0, hindi na pwedeng maging values palagi yung 0. There are times kasi na kahit yung positive 2 ay pwedeng mag-lead to 0 denominator, lalo na kapag ka nag-substitute ka na sa iyong q of x. So, halimbawa, ang q of x mo is 2 minus 2. So, 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So, therefore, isa sa mga bawal na values sa domain mo or set of x mo is x is equal to 2. So, that's it po for the definition of rational functions. Now, let's proceed with more real-life situations naman po or real-life problems na kung saan ginagamit yung ating rational functions. Let's have this first example. So, in this first problem, you have a local barangay receive a budget of 100,000 to provide medical checkup for the children in the barangay. The amount to be allotted equally among all children in the barangay. Write an equation representing the relationship of the allotted amount per child, y variable versus the total number of children, x variable. So, madali-dali lang, no? Kasi naka-indicate na yung y variable natin ang ating x variable. So, ang gagawin daw po natin is to write an equation that would represent the relationship between these two variables. So, therefore, sulat po muna natin, no? Para mas ma-visualize natin. So, if we let y is variable is equal to the allotted amount per child, while our x is the number, total number of children. Now, we are going to write an equation for this. Sabi, ano ba mga given? Meron tayong given na 100,000. And sabi dito, sa second statement is, the amount is to be allotted equally among all the children. So, kung 10 yan, yung 100,000 na to ay paghahatian nila. Kung 100 na estudyante or children yan sa barangay, itong 100,000 ay paghahatian ulit nila. Then, as the number of children increases, ito ay paghahatian nila lahat dun sa 100,000 na allotted budget. So, ibig sabihin nito, the allotted amount per children can be written into equal siya sa 100,000 over x natin, the total amount of children. So, therefore, this is now our equation. Now, we can now compute for our table of values. So, dito sa table of values natin na kung saan meron tayong number of children as x. So, ayan, meron tayong 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 300, 500, and 1,000. You are now going to compute for the allocated amount per child, yung y value natin. So, gamit itong ating equation na y is equal to 100,000 over x, let's solve po yung ibang values natin dito. So, let's have our x is equal to 10. So, you will have y is equal to 100,000 over 10. So, para mas mabilis, you can use your calculator or cancel mo na lang isa sa mga zero dyan. So, you will have an amount of 10,000 per children for when your x is 10. Now, paano pag ang x mo is 20? Same process lang din. Ganun lang din, gamit yung equation natin that shows the relationship between the allotted amount per children and the total number of children. Ayan. Solve lang natin. So, ang x natin is 20. So, therefore, pagka sinolve mo yan sa calculator, the answer will be 5,000 per children. Then, ganun ulit. Pagka meron ka namang 50, same process lang. Evaluate mo lang gamit yung iyong equation na 100,000 over 50. So, what is 100,000 over 50? So, every student will receive an amount of 2,000 per child. Then, as you go along, papunta ka ng 100, 200, 300, 500, and 1,000. So, yung amount niyan, magdi-decrease yan as the number of children na naghahati dun sa 100,000 increases. So, ayan lang for our first problem. Now, let's have this continuation. So, sabi daw dito is, a philanthropist wants to supplement the budget allotted for each child by providing an additional of 750 for each child in the barangay. If g of x represents this new amount allotted for each child, construct a function representing this relationship. So, bago natin ma-solve itong table of values, tulad nung kanina, ay gagawa muna tayo ng equation that would represent this new problem or situation. So, sabi dun sa original natin, you have a y is equal to 100,000 over x. Ngayon, sabi dito, ayon sa sentence is, each child daw po ay bibigyan ng 750 ng philanthropist natin. So, therefore, you will have a new equation which is expressed or represented as g of x. So, magiging g of x is equal to 100,000. Yung original pa rin na makukuha ng bata kahit ilan sila, kung ilan sila maghahati nun. At mag-add ka ngayon ng 750 pesos per child. So, ayan. So, this is now the equation that we are going to use to evaluate or to complete this table of values. So, solve natin. Halimbawa, your x is again 10. So, gamit na yung ating bagong equation. So, you have the g of x, or magiging 10 na yan. Yung x mo na ay magiging 10. G of 10 is equal to 100,000 over 10 plus 750. So, therefore, makakancel natin yan. That is 10,000 plus 750. So, makare-receive ng bawat estudyante ay 10,750 pesos. So, kung paano naman pag 50? So, ganun din, 50. If our x is 50, so you will have the g of 50 is equal to 100,000 over 50 plus 750. And alam natin that 100,000 divided by 50 is 2,000 plus 750. So, every child will receive an amount of 2,750. So, ganun lang po. As you evaluate each table, mag-add ka lang po ng 750 pesos dun sa na-solve mo last time na table, yung kaninang previous examples. So, ganyan lang po yung mga examples na you might encounter or real-life situations na ginagamitan or actually gumagamit ng rational functions.